Hey everyone, Dangerous Freedom here. Just waiting on my buddy Roger. Uh, he should be in here shortly. So I hope y'all are doing well tonight. I actually was taken out for dinner tonight. It's one of my birthdays. Getting up there, dude. Pushing 50 years old. So we did that. Man, it was fun. I got some good gifts. I got a new toilet seat. My mom actually bought me a new cushion toilet seat, the foam line ones. That was really nice. And I need a new one. My old one is cracked. It's kind of old. And my sister bought me a case of mason jars. So even my sister is telling me, hey, you need to get more into the prepping aspect. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I'm ready. We got guns. We got food. It's time we start long storing this stuff. You know? Hey, Rooster. How's it going, brother? CLC. Hey, New York. New York Outcast. How you doing, brother? All right. Come on. Let's get this going. Roger, are you? Oh, there you are. Gotcha.
Hey,
Hey, there you are.
I made it. I made it.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man.
It's good to see you tonight too. It's good to see you. I been sitting here doing some more thinking about what we were talking about earlier.
Thank you, Margo.
Um, but I'm interested in seeing your gas mask.
Oh, okay. Hold the chat.
I'll do my best. How's everybody doing tonight? COC, what's going on? Black Matter. Lee, how's it going? Rooster Cogburn.
Okay, this one does not have the filter on it. I haven't opened the filter yet, but I got three of these. I got one for me and one from each of my sons.
So the unfortunate part about that is not only do we have to shave our beards,
Yeah, I know.
our heads as well. That's the unfortunate part. So in an emergency, do you have what you need to get all that shaved up? Do you have
Oh,
cordless trimmers ready to go, or what?
I've got my K-bar knife that will shave it all bald. I'm telling you, this thing, dude, it'll cut through barbed wire. I guarantee it'll cut through my hair. I got it from my buddy Jim over at Knight's Armory. Hey, Tactical Mayhem. What's up, my brother?
Technician.
Hold on, I gotta get my hat back on.
That was something that came up in a chat I did with Man and the R Syndicate, John and Kaz and Vaughn and Zombie
Okay,
on it.
so did you time me? Did you time me? How long did it take me to get that mask on?
You were gone for 27 seconds.
Nice.
Well,
That's how quick I can be ready.
I think
in other cases, I can be ready a lot damn quicker.
as long as we can get our faces shaved in time, we'll be ready.
Give or take.
I don't own a K-bar, so mine will be a little rougher.
I'll have to get you one. I'll tell you what, those things, man, they're made in New York, and granted, they're made in New York, but not everything from New York is total crap. but
I believe that. I believe
only
that.
the politics. Only the politics from New York is still crap. All right. Anyways, we're not going to talk about politics tonight. We're going to talk about prepping. All right. So you brought. I had a screen pop up in my face. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, anyways, as far as the prepping thing goes, even my kids, even my family is on board. I was just telling you, it was just my birthday dinner, and you know what my sister bought me for my 47th birthday? Uh, a case of canning jars.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
I
We're gonna
haven't
be
I have not started canning before, but she knows the kind of prepper I am, and I'm trying to be prepared. And she just took it upon herself to get me the canning jars, and I'm like, wow. Well, worst case scenario, I can distill moonshine out of them, but you know what I mean. I know how to do that. I know how to distill, but
Well, happy birthday to you. Many
thank,
more.
thank you.
Many more. Um, I myself haven't gotten into canning yet. Um, it's on that long prepper list of things to learn. Um, one thing I do is I store tobacco in mason jars. Um, I'm an avid smoker. I've been at it for 20 plus years, and
Yeah,
that's one of the things I found hardest to prep for. I mean, how many cartons of cigarettes can you put away at $70 a pop? How many
I get them at about 50. It's about 50 a pop, but still, yeah, it's way.
$50, a pop? How many can you store up?
I,
300 and
I've got 6 in my freezer right now. I'll be
yeah,
honest. I got 6,
that's a
and
lot
after that, I have to quit smoking. EDM, I done them.
Hey,
That's what you want.
so how's it gonna go for your first Canon video here? What are we gonna put in the jars?
Uh, I still have to talk with the kids about that and figure out what they want to can. You can can so many things, and yeah, I'm gonna have to leave it up to the family on this one because if I just choose, then it probably won't be fair. So I
Can
have to keep it
can be,
canned meat. Well,
yeah.
well, most likely, yeah. There's a very high likelihood it will be meat because we are meat eaters. I mean, I'm telling you, my son, he got his paycheck. The first thing he did was went out and bought a 5-pound roast. 5-pound freaking roast. And we can't even fit that in our slow cooker. We're gonna have to cut it into pieces to fit it in there.
That
But
sounds like a good problem to have.
yeah, so yeah, we've got ideas and we'll figure it out as we go along.
Sounds like a plan. I can't wait to see the video.
Yeah, it might take a minute.
So we had a discussion a little bit earlier about what would you do, I guess we'll call it.
Okay.
And I'm not sure who had mentioned um, prepping for 2 months to feed your family, and that you would have the ability after that 2 months to go out and scavenge enough food to continue on. Or am I kind of right with
Yeah, yeah.
that?
And I think that at that point there would already be so many people out there already doing it. You would be left in a lurch because if you remember during the Great Depression back in the 30s, um, Even deer were almost killed off to the point of extinction. I mean, everybody was eating anything they could. I mean, now you look at Venezuela, they're eating even zoo animals. I mean, that's crazy. They're eating zoo animals just to stay alive, and that is insane. Um, could we see it again in the United States? Well, there's over 350 million people on this country just in America. So they say, and we don't know how many are legal or illegal. You know, they might be coming up from Mexico just to kill our animals. And for all we know, they're going to come up here and start killing us and eating us. I mean, there's such a thing as cannibalism, although it's disgusting and it rots your brain. And that's actually proven fact. It rots your brain. Don't be eating people, folks. But yeah, it's happened in the past. So,
See, what do we got here? Luciano says 40 million illegal, so that puts us up to about 400 million people on the continent or on the in the country. Um, and I got to tell you, if you're planning for a 2 month disruption, you might be selling yourself a little bit short. Um, I know the financial aspect of it is disruption. You might Google, but 2 months is nothing. I mean, if you're banking on a 2 month supply and then going out because most people have died off, I think you're setting yourself up for a terrible failure.
yeah.
And then you burn through your 2 month supply and now you're starving to death. And I doubt very seriously you'd be able to venture out into the cities and there'll be anything left in grocery stores or anything left in people's houses. I mean, the reason they're dead is because the food ran out, is because the clean water ran out.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just don't,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I don't see very many jackpots being found.
No, and even me, it's like, granted, I'll be honest, I've got about 30 gallons of fresh water right now, and that's gonna last us a couple weeks. But I do have a means to a canal, and I do have 5 gallon buckets to where I can, I mean, metal buckets to where I can boil the water and purify them myself if need be. I mean, I've got other plans in place.
I got a quick question for you, just out of curiosity. You're in Arizona. I
Hmm.
assume you don't have giant forests with tons of deadfall trees laying on the ground.
No.
So, what are you going to use as a fuel source to boil this water in your area? That
Well,
renewable.
we do still have trees. Granted, they're not as rampant as like a forest, like you said, but I mean, even right now, I we got 2x4s. I mean, if I have to tear down a house and rip out the 2x4s, 2x6 to my foot, burn my water, boil my water, trust me, I'm not shy of tearing down a house, dude. I've been in demolition too, dude. I can build them just as quick as I can tear them down. Yeah,
Uh,
you believe that one, dude. And trust me, I've got the tools, dude. If I have to, I'll hook a chain up to the rear end of my car and I'll yank that wall down and I'm ready. Damn right. I'll do whatever it takes. Hey, just in time. What's going on, brother?
So, man, just out of curiosity, what type of shortages are you thinking we'll be seeing here short term from
Oh,
the China shutdown?
oh
And
man.
hey, just in time, Tarpon.
This will be good.
So it's already reached Europe.
Black Matter, I'm in Mesa. I'm in Mesa. I'm in the valley. Yeah, started. Oh wow. Okay, yeah. And that doesn't surprise me, Oliver. I mean, I was telling Roger about this earlier because I ship explosives. And we're right now we have shipments that have been ready to leave for over a month now, and they're sitting on the California coastline. We've got a couple of the little packages, like we'll send one box by FedEx or UPS, and they'll make it to the coastline, and then they stop it at the coast and be like, "No, I'm sorry, we can't allow it in." So we can expect some disruptions. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Ollie. Um, I tried to order some of the N95 masks, and they were all sold out. I was fortunate to get the Israeli NBC masks, and thank God I did because I feel a little bit more comfortable with that. But at the same time, yeah, we're already seeing the supply chain cutting off, dude. The supply chain it's screwed. It's screwed. I,
Yes, I guess if we've been suspending the shipments for the last week, we have about 2 weeks more before we see the 3 week cycle start to be broken up.
shit, 3 week. I'm guessing longer than that, dude. I mean, dude, still not. China is still not telling us the truth about what's going on over there. I expect a lot longer than 3 weeks. I'm expecting another 3 months, maybe. I'm hoping by April they'll start opening their supply chain. But right now, I'm telling you, dude, right now everything is shut down. And I work at a place that literally we ship across and South Korea, we ship to Thailand, we ship all over the world. Everything is shut down. Well, I should say China is shut down. Thailand has not shut down completely, nor has South Korea. But things are really drastic, and I have a feeling with everything that's going on, we're seeing more cases of this cerveza bug, as our friend likes to call it, popping up in these other places, and we're seeing it here, even here in the U.S. I just heard the other day we've got 7,500 people that were asked to self quarantine. Now, think about this, Brother Roger. You were asked to self quarantine by the government, but they're not supplying you any food. Well, how many days are you going to have to quarantine?
Well, they're saying 14 days is the quarantine.
It was 14 days. It has bumped up because there was a guy that was quarantined for the 14 days and then he got sick afterwards and spread the virus. They bumped it up to 21. So now you're looking at 3 weeks out.
Well, I mean, me personally, 21 days is no obstacle to self quarantine myself. Um, I fear for every neighbor in my 10-mile area, though. I mean, if there was one other person that could do it, I'd be surprised. If there was one other person that even thought there was the need to do it, I would be surprised. Everybody I've spoken to has no idea about what it would take to self quarantine yourself, let alone have the supplies in place to self quarantine yourself for 21 days.
Yep, that's
Um,
that's the hard part.
and like I said, I talk to people about it. I talk to family members, and it's a glossy look over their eyes when I start to talk about it. And I've said it before. The answer I hear more than anything else is, "I'm just gonna come to your house."
No, God, no. Yeah,
That's
that's the
the
last
answer.
thing you want to do. No, you're not welcome here, dude. I've got enough for me and my family. I don't have enough for everybody's family.
Well, I mean, it's a touchy situation. I mean, you scream at the top of your lungs that they should be, and they don't. But if anything ever did happen, and it did come to a point where you needed to share your supplies, who would you rather share it with? Somebody that you've known your whole life and is an idiot for not getting their self ready? Or would you rather share it with the guy you just met across the street a year ago that's an idiot for not getting himself ready? It's which idiot do you want with you? The
Yeah,
known
neither.
idiot?
Honestly, I'll be honest, neither one. Because they're
Well,
idiots. They probably don't even have a gun. They
nope,
probably
nope.
don't know how to use a gun. I mean, honestly, you and I, we're people. We're prepared. I mean, it's like, God forbid it ever comes down to a shit hit the fan situation. But you and I believe, are prepared to use our weapons in whatever means we need to, whether
Well,
that be for defense or offense, or whatever the case may be.
I definitely agree with that statement. The undeniable truth in all of it is I can't stay awake 24 hours a day and watch everything. I
That's why
can't.
you have kids.
Well,
I've got kids. I mean,
depend,
my kids stay awake. I'm not kidding you, dude. I'll go to bed at like 7 o'clock, and I'll wake up at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and they're still up.
well,
I'm like,
that's in the best of times right now. I mean, when everybody's eating a little bit less and the power's not on and the water's not running and you got to work 6, 7 hours to bathe yourself, feed yourself, you're not going to have that same amount of energy to stay up for
mm,
18 hours a day and sleep for only 2 or 3 hours lightly while you're listening for everything. So I am not blind to the fact that I will at some point, and probably sooner during the situation than later, have to allow people that I've been preaching to over and over again, get ready, get something, be your own best protection, come into my circle, and I will have to feed them and supply them with all the supplies that they never thought it was worth
yeah,
stockpiling or whatever you want to call it. They've
yeah,
never once contributed $20 like, hey man, I ain't gonna be storing all this beans and this other shit, but let me give you some money so you can put some shit aside for me. That's never the attitude.
no,
Always the attitude that you take care of it, and when it's all fucked up, I'll be there.
yeah. Like you were saying, yeah, yeah. When shit hits the fan, we'll come knocking on your door, and yeah, that's not the proper attitude.
It's definitely not, but what do you do? I mean, it's a balancing act. I know no matter how vigorously I try to defend what I have, I can't do it by myself. So,
That's true, but you got your family. Your family is pretty strong, right?
I mean, I have 6 members in my family, and
Yeah.
4 of them are under the age of 18, and
That, I
it
mean,
doesn't,
they're young. They're
yeah,
strong. Young.
it's the reality of it that
Have you taken
I
them
know at
shooting?
some point I have food here. I have ammunition and weapons here for people other than myself because no matter how much I'm upset at them, no matter
Yeah, yeah.
how much they didn't listen to me, I would still
They're gonna be.
have
They're gonna be.
them than not have them.
Yep. They're gonna be kissing your ass when shit hits the fan. Have you taught them how to shoot yet?
No, I haven't
Hmm.
taken any of my children shooting yet. Um,
Frankie Jr. I can see him 6 months old. Yeah,
well, I mean, my wife has children before we got married, so those are my children too now. But no, we haven't gone shooting or anything like that yet. Lot of crazy stuff going on around here to be hanging out in the winter shooting right now, but it's on the list. It's
good.
a family tradition, I would say.
Yep. Good old Hank Williams song. It's a family tradition. I do
Yeah,
love that song.
but what scares me the most about trying to be a prepper, trying to be prepared for anything is what will I do when I'm put in a situation that any of us could easily be put in, no matter how well we prepare? You know, you lose all your
Yep.
shit burns down, somebody steals it, somebody throws you in the trunk of a car and drives you 100 miles away and dumps you. What, you know, whatever would take you away from your plan. Um, you know, I often wonder what I would be willing to do after my plan had fallen apart to survive. Um, I don't know that I could handle watching my children starve to death. I don't know that I could
No.
handle and be okay with, because that was just the cards we were dealt. Um, and
No.
you know, that's one of the things I struggle with. To I don't know if you want to call it morality or what name you'd give it, but you know, it it's one of the things that I try to also prepare myself for mentally. How far would I be willing to go?
Oh man. Yeah. And as a father, you realize that that goes really damn far. I mean, you would delve into the pits of hell to save your family at that point. When you're a father, I mean, I don't know. Maybe for me, literally, if I had to reach down there, I'd go there. I'm just that kind of way. I mean, I wouldn't let my kids die before me. I mean, I've already had one that passed away before his time, and it dude, it hurt me. Like, it felt like God ripped my heart out and said, "Okay, I'm going to give it back to you, but remember this." And I'm never going to let that happen again. I'll do anything to protect my family, and that's not only my kids, it's my friends too. And that would include you, brother, and most of you in the chat. I mean, the ones of you that I know, I would feel just the same way with you.
Well, that's going to be something you have to have if we ever do find ourselves in a situation where you can't run to the grocery store and buy groceries. We do have to start lining up to get the bread truck handout, or whatever situation we find ourselves in, short term or long term. I mean,
Yeah,
just what you were talking about with the quarantine thing. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
they came on the news tomorrow and said Monday morning, no one will be able to drive their cars on the road. No one will be able to leave their dwelling. No one will be able to report to work. Nobody, nothing. How many people could lock that back door, lock that front door, and sit in their house for 14 days, 21 days, however many days the quarantine was? I
I
mean,
could,
I think
I could. I mean, now I'm speaking on different terms here because I've been preparing for this for months. I didn't start this yesterday and like, oh, okay, yeah. No, I've got enough to where I could hold off a small army with just my weapons. I mean, ain't nobody gonna interrupt my system. You know what I'm saying? And I
well,
know
the
you're,
thing
and
you
I know you're the same way. Don't even give me no shit. You
well,
are the same way. You are
I,
absolutely ready to take on a small army if you need to.
I would try my best, but what my concern is, how many people couldn't? How many people in my 10 square miles couldn't sit in their house for 14 days, let alone 21 days?
Yeah.
You know, so now that you're in your house and you're starving and it's illegal to move, what does it matter if you're doing illegal shit? It's already
Yeah.
illegal to be outside your house.
Yep.
So that's how the mob starts, I guess.
It's all
And
off the table. It's all off the table. There, world without rules law. WWROL. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean,
and that's it's a scary thought in and of itself, but at the same time, there are people that are like, bring it, bring it, bring the world without rule of law. We'll make our own law, and that's a scary thought in in and of itself too, because there are some people that should not be making laws. But then
That
we get that on both sides. I mean, look at these assholes in Virginia. They shouldn't be making any freaking laws, and they're making laws that are pissing off the entire country, much less just the citizens of Virginia. They are pissing off the entire country, and we
there,
have more more. Uh, I don't know.
well,
I
I
gotta
can.
take a breath. I gotta take a breath here because I'm gonna go on a rant. Yeah,
Well, I,
I really, I have a deep respect for our patriots that stood up in that Virginia rally, and at this point, it seems like it meant nothing. The politicians are going to push their same liberal crap, and I don't know. Is it going to take a gun in their face for them to change their mind? I mean, I don't know what it's going to take, brother.
well, I'll tell you what I believe it's going to take. I believe it's going to take us sending our voices there to be heard, to
Amen.
be sitting at the table, signing or not signing the bills that they put forward. I mean, there's no way not to understand what's happening. Everything is televised now, so until we're willing to put our people in the seats, we're gonna keep getting what they hand us. It's plain to see, in my opinion.
All right, keep speaking. I'm trying to pull something up here.
Well, I guess just continuing on with what I was saying about how few people in America could lock their door and stay in the house for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it took, 30 days. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
it's a nightmare scenario, and I mean, unfortunately, I think if I'm smart enough to have that figured out, the government is too, and they're not gonna do something like that in America. They're gonna unfortunately have to do the damage control after the damage is done. I mean, could you imagine seeing that broadcast tomorrow morning? all American citizens, please be advised. Do not leave your home. Do not travel on public roads. Do not, what would happen if that phone or that
Yeah.
message came out at 12 noon tomorrow? Can you imagine the
It
panic?
would be a complete panic mode. Everybody would go into panic for the most part. Granted, there are a few of us that would be like, "Wow, that sucks," but a lot of people would be like, "Oh crap, I was not prepared," and you and I'd be like, "Man, that's gonna." A lot of people are screwed on this one.
Well, I think the worst part about being prepared and realizing it is it doesn't mean I'm not screwed because now I got 97% of the people in my 10 miles, my 10 square miles that I have to deal with now. It's not, oh, I'm prepared. I have all my food. I'm good to go. I don't have to come out the house. I have to keep 97% of the people in my 10 square miles out of my house so that I can eat the supplies that I have. So it's not a slam dunk just because I have it. It's not a guaranteed thing. I mean, I never served in the military,
No.
but I would have to imagine in a hour-long gunfight with, I don't know, 24 people on each side firing back and forth, you probably expend 10,000 rounds between all of you guys shooting back and forth. 5,000 even. How many people do you know
Yeah.
that could put up a 1 hour gunfight? You know,
I'll tell you what. I mean, I've been out at 3 hour gun ranges, and I mean, even then, I barely put 300 or 400 rounds through my rifle. But that's semi-auto, not full auto. But
well, in any situation, man, you're not going to be
No,
sitting
that
there
finger's
counting
gonna be
off
going
the
like
bullets.
this. Ah!
You're gonna have that thing counting, though, I'm sure. And bullets go quick.
Yes,
Bullets go fast,
and do
especially
it.
if you're not having fun. Oh, come on, New York. Don't tell me if I'm stuck in Detroit, I'm screwed, man. I've been planning this for 10 years now, man.
Come on, yeah, New York. No, he's not screwed, dude. I'm telling you, New York Outcast. This man is actually doing something to try and make a change. You need to recognize his name. It's Roger Henderson. He is actually running for Congress. He is trying to make the difference. It's just on an independent ticket. On an independent ticket, you're automatically stifled. And I think everybody in the chat gets that. You're automatically stifled because you're not Republican, you're not Democrat, you're not part of the corrupt team. You're an independent, you're coming out on your own 2 feet, and they don't like that. And that's why we need to give this man more support. That's why we need to give him more support, more money. Help fund this guy. I mean, I'm telling you, I know Oliver's done it. I know I do it. But more people need to help fund you so you can get your feet on the ground in this race. Because
Well, we definitely know it's a money game. I mean, whether it's, people donating their time and showing up 20, 30 at a time to actually do canvas and get signatures, or hiring a company to do it, it has to be done.
yeah,
And, no matter how many doors I knock on, I'm not going to knock on and obtain 6,000 signatures all by myself. Um, just
man,
real quick though, I seen a message here from Tinfoil Hat.
because of that beard, that's a good one.
It says, if a quarantine like that happened, I'm wondering how they plan to enforce it. National Guard, UN troops. How will the police? How will they police so many people in
Yeah.
so many places?
Well,
You got any thoughts on that? Dangerous freedom. How would they enforce a nationwide quarantine in America?
well, they couldn't do it like they are in China. Where in China, they'll just eliminate them and their voice never mattered. Here in America, people they can speak out in social media and their voice is already counted. Um, good Lord, how would they do it? It would not be a pretty sight. Um, I can barely fathom how they would do it. I know it's going to be corrupt. I know it's going to be crooked because I mean that's how our government works. I mean, they won't be honest with the people, neither is China. None of these governments are being honest with us. I mean, we're
Well,
getting secondhand reports, and they're way lower than the honest reports. Because trust me, I know because I ship to these places and nobody is accepting our product. Dude, I know it's way worse than what they are saying on the news. Okay,
well,
it's guaranteed, 100% fact. If anybody in this chat has a second guess, oh, maybe China isn't lying to us, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. They are totally lying to us. There are way more deaths. There are way more infected. I don't know how extreme it's going to go, and I don't know how extreme American. I don't know. Already in America, we have 7,500 people on self quarantine. You heard about that, right?
I did hear about it.
Yep. In California, they asked 7,500 people to self quarantine for up to 21 days. Okay, that's just in California. Now that's right next door to me. I'm in Arizona. Now we've had one case that was in Arizona, and that was an ASU student. She went to China and visited her family, Chinese. It seems to be targeting DNA. Now, tell me if I'm wrong in the chat, but this disease or this particular disease happens to be targeting DNA, Chinese DNA. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I don't know if that's the case myself personally, but I do have an idea as to how a quarantine like that would go in America. So I think, much like I stated before, they'd come on at noon, inform the country that this was the case, self quarantine, blah, blah, blah. I think after that broadcast aired, there would be a mass panic,
Yeah.
the likes that you've never seen before. Every grocery store would be emptied out to the bare shelf. I think everybody would empty the gas stations. I think everybody would absolutely make an effort at that point to have the supplies needed to quarantine themselves.
Yeah.
So I think there wouldn't be much enforcement need in the beginning. I think it would be something that everybody would be scared enough of. And even though they only had a day's notice to prepare for this quarantine, for the most part, everybody would do what they could. And
I hope to God it's not.
by that night, after the fires were put out and everything, possibly the quarantine would start without too much disruption. I think as people's supplies ran out in their homes, you would have people breaking the quarantine at that point. Now, I don't think
Hello, Valerie.
a lot of people in the beginning, but I think well before the 14 days were here, there would be enough people breaking that quarantine that
Oh yeah.
there would be no way to control
No.
broken quarantine.
No.
And I
No.
think it would just become a matter of the government officials and everyone backing up, letting the people fend for themselves, and coming in after the smoke settles to either clean up the bodies or, whatever process would need to take place to remove the tens of thousands of dead people in the cities. And I definitely agree the countryside would be an ideal location for something like that. If you were there, you wouldn't be as drastically affected by it. But um, big cities, suburbs around the big cities.
Oh God, no, that was my big concern. What if it happened in LA or New York to where people are stacked on top of each other? In fact, I just heard of a case that happened like that. Guy was it in Korea, I think it was. They had a single stack apartment building, there are probably 12, 24 buildings, and they all had central ventilation, and the disease just spread between each room. So, even though the people didn't have contact directly with the other people, it spread through the air vents.
Well,
And
that goes back down to people being prepared. I mean, when you live in a building like that, you need to have certain things in place. You need to have plastic to
tape
seal off
off, yeah, tape
the
off.
vent. You need to have, disinfectant to disinfect your apartment continuously, just because when you live in that close of a proximity to other people,
Hi, Donna.
you have the chance for the viruses and the germs to travel shorter distances to become infected.
No, yeah, and it's crazy how that thing spreads like that. Um, you know, I'm trying to remember back to when the swine flu broke out, or the even what was the N1H1? Was that the bird flu?
Bird flu.
And this strain is based off of that, but it's also got other chemical. It's also got other DNA. Now it's got like, from what I've heard, it's got the HIV strain in it to where so it'll infect you with HIV to lower your immunity system to make you more susceptible to the disease. Have you heard that yet?
Well, I've heard numerous different takes on it from ungodly amounts of people. The only thing I can say for sure is that I don't know. Said it for months now, at least 2 months. The only way I'll know is when it's 10 miles from my house. I won't have any clue. I don't believe everything I see on the news. I don't believe everything I see on YouTube. I don't have any basis to perform any tests myself to determine the RNA makeup of the virus. But what I can see is what's going on around me. Um, I find it absolutely amazing that they're building hospitals and this and that in China in a matter of days
Yeah.
because they had a bad flu outbreak this year. I mean, it
Yeah.
that
No.
doesn't
Yeah.
make
Nobody
sense.
does this over the flu.
I can't see, a ship being quarantined in the on the in the port of Yokohama, and then what, 500, 400 of the people, 700 of the people on the boat have the virus. Is it deadly? I've heard it both ways. China says no, but then a 34-year-old doctor gets it and he dies from it. A 38-year-old man in Italy gets it and dies from it. I mean, these are supposed to be the ages you're best able to resist these viruses, and if people are dying from it, you know, it would make more sense that it's more deadly than they're saying because of their actions, the drastic things they're doing to stop it from spreading
Yeah. Like
to not
corn.
only their people but the rest of the world. I
Yeah.
mean, do you think China doesn't want to ship their shipping containers here? They
Oh,
they would love to send it. I mean, that's revenue they're losing, sitting food rotting on the shores.
yeah. Oh, I know.
But
Trust me. I know about that one.
the
We
reality of it is something's amiss because I've never seen anything like this over the seasonal flu.
None of us have. I, I'll be honest with you. In all my years, I have never witnessed anything like this. I mean, I apparently I lived through the SARS thing. Remember the SARS, and that never had an impact with my job. This is the first one that has had a global impact,
And
and it
we're able
really
to
it makes
actually
you
see it
question.
real time. So that's giving us more insight than we would have ever had. I mean, SARS could have been this bad for all we know, but the
They
control of the information was so great back then. It was hard to find out what was going on. And not that it's easy today to find out what's going on. They still control the information. It's
I
just
can't
harder to control the information right now.
up from
There's more.
northern Arizona,
Hey, hey, Tammy.
Mister Nunn, Mister Arizona Bear. um, yeah. The whole thing is getting crazy. Yeah, I was gonna go on another topic, but
Hey, redneck, renegade.
yeah, my mind kind of skipped there for a second there. I'm Margot. Hello, Tigger, Redneck Prepper, or Redneck Renegade Prepper. Same difference.
So, Ron, I was wondering, what are your takes on tolerance?
Tolerance for what?
The old do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Oh, that's the golden rule, dude. That I hold on high esteem. You don't go around doing things to people that you wouldn't want done to yourself, and that goes for police. And I don't care any human being on this planet. You're not going to do anything to somebody else that you wouldn't want done to your own self. And anybody that breaks that oath or that rule um, deserves all their comeuppance. And hopefully it's getting fired. But there are some people that I'll be honest with you, Roger. There are some people on this planet that need to be hanged. I'll be honest with you. I believe there are people on this planet right now that need to be judged and hanged. And I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I would definitely agree that some men do walk this earth, and women that deserve
Mm.
that just reward. Um, I, I don't know that we have the right to pass that judgment on somebody, but I do feel we have that duty
Yep.
to pass that judgment on someone and
Yep.
remove them from
Yep.
our community, our life, our earth. I mean,
Yeah.
some things are unforgivable.
I agree with you on that. I mean, if they can be removed electorally, that's one thing. Let them live their life in solitude after that. Although they're still making tons of money from our tax dollars, and I don't even believe they deserve that. They don't deserve a damn dollar from us.
Well, my opinion about the salaries these people make, um, I think the structure is all wrong. I think they do deserve transportation to and from DC from their district. I think that commercial transportation is more than acceptable. I think yes, the federal government should pay that bill, but I think your paycheck should be slightly above the minimum wage. I mean, you're not going there to become rich in theory. You're
Mm-hmm.
going there to provide a service to your country, a duty fulfilled
Yeah,
that
no,
you
and I
owe your country.
no, I totally understand that. But then, how does Bernie Sanders have three mansions?
Oh,
He's coming out saying, "Oh, but these billionaires," but he's only a millionaire. Just in his properties alone, he's a millionaire, and he's
well, I don't think that you should not have to be a millionaire to be a politician. I think if you are in business and you're making money and you're doing good for yourself, it's your duty to go try to make your country better. It's something that
yeah,
kind of like military service,
yeah,
you have a duty to do it. You don't make the greatest paycheck doing it. You don't
no, like just like
receive, your fair accolades or whatever for the service you provide, but it's a duty. And if you fulfill that duty, you're making
yeah, Paul.
your children's life better, your neighbor's life's better. And it's the same thing with politics. It's not a job to go sit in for 30 years and make yourself a millionaire. It's a job to go suffer with the people and do your job. Make life easier for yourself so when you go home, it's a little bit easier than when you left.
Yeah, but they're supposed to listen to the people. That's the problem. They don't. They listen to the wrong people. They listen to the small group of people where the rest of them are yelling out loud, like, "No, you can't do this." But they're like, "Oh, but this little tiny part right here deserves a chance." And it's like, no, they really don't. You know what? We don't care about LGBTQP. You know what? I'm not going to go into detail, but honestly, they're not the Americans that they need to be listening to, because a high majority of us are gun owning, freedom loving Americans. Those are the ones, we are the ones they need to be listening to and doing something about, like protecting our rights, our God given rights, not even constitutional. I'm talking about God given, my brother. And I know where you
Well,
lie with that, but
I can definitely tell you the way to make that happen. I think you personally already know the way to make it happen. I keep going back to, three guys aren't going to change their city, let alone their state, let alone their country. But 3,000 men can do at least something for their city and state.
Yes.
10,000 men can do something at least for their city, state, and maybe
Right.
country. But, as long as only four of us are on the same page, well, we're going to get what the 10,000 people that are on the same page paid for. That's what we're going to get because they were all on the same page. They were all willing to do the same thing. And they got their representative elected. And now he's sitting there or she's sitting there doing what they paid that person to do.
Yeah.
And if we don't understand that by now, then
Yeah.
I
So
can't imagine where we're going to be in 10 years looking back saying, wow, man, they're still doing it to us.
I don't want to go on too much longer because I know our brother tactical technician is going to go on after us. Although he did invite us to come on. Do you want to go on tactical text after he goes on?
I'm going to be serving dinner at my house
Okay.
in about 3 minutes. So I
All
will be
right.
watching.
All right. Gotcha.
If you
Maybe
go ahead there,
I'll just hop over there, Mike.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to
Sorry.
put you guys on the big screen and we're going to have some dinner and listen to you guys.
Okay. So what about this rally in Virginia where we had tens of thousands of supporters show up? And I mean, it made a huge impact to quite a few people, but the politicians didn't seem to really give a crap about it. They're still they're still pushing their anti-gun agenda. And they're like, oh, people are gonna just accept it. What do you think
Well,
about that?
I got to be honest with you. The people that donated to their campaigns and got them elected want that. That's why they paid them through campaign contributions to have them sit in that seat and put forth their agenda. So no matter how much we think it's unfair, no matter how much we complain about the unconstitutionality of it, they're using the system that is set up to get their way. They're not doing it in secret. They're not doing it behind magic smoke and mirrors.
It's wicked.
Money to their candidate. Their candidate is hiring the companies to obtain the signatures, to print the flyers, the circulars that go out to everybody's houses, to have the dinners, to have the rallies in the
Yeah.
Piggly Wiggly grocery store parking lot. They're paying the money so their candidate can do that. And then their candidate gets elected. And to repay those people for contributing to their campaign, they're enacting the laws that those people who paid want. So that's where we are. That's where we're going to be. And
And
until,
that's why we need to elect you because you're not gonna be that guy.
well, there's not just me. There's tons of people in the house right now that are saying what I'm saying. The only problem is they're being outnumbered. They're screaming at the top of their lungs, send more support. So until we send them more support, we really don't have much to complain about. So it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to leave it at that. I
Right.
appreciate you having me on, man. This has been awesome. Um, I hope we get to do it again.
Oh yeah, well I'd like to do it again next weekend if you're not too busy.
Well, I will definitely make the time, and I'll see you Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody that came to the chat. Greatly appreciated, and
I'm trying to look up my.
make sure I am ready for next week.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying trying to type something. Trying to type something in really quick here. Dane DM asked me. Oh, oh, he left. All right, I'll be out of here in a second. I do have a PayPal. It's I'm gonna leave it here in the chat. I'm not the kind of guy that asks for money, but I do have a PayPal account. Let's see. I gotta get this right. that's correct. You know, I already work my ass off, everybody. Um, I'm really not asking for anything from you, but your support, and you guys give me tons of it. And I tell you what, I wouldn't keep doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for you folks. Um, every single one of you. Melody. Okay, you go to bed. I'm not going to bed yet. I am gonna stay up and I'm gonna cause some more chaos if I can. Um, Ananuki. Man, Oliver, thank you very much, brother. And you know what, Oliver? I need to call you one of these times soon. I got some stuff I need to talk to you about, but um, man, Tammy, what was it? All right, I could sit here. You know what? Uh, oh, did I say Pat Pal? Oh, yeah, it's PayPal. PayPal me. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to get off of here so my brother, tactical technician, can come on and maybe he'll invite me on. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm kind of crazy sometimes. You know, I'm a wild card. It's like you never know what you might get from me. Pretty down to earth, but sometimes I get a little radical, and it's like, you kidding me now? All right, take care, everyone. Peace.